So, surprise, surprise, coalition was elected, and now it's up to the coalition to discuss with local manufacturers about the future of the industry and what type of support they're willing to offer, what they're going to take away, and I guess how soon they're going to launch their previously discussed productivity commission. Now, of course, during the election there was plenty of people all talking about how old-fashioned the Australian manufacturing industry is, how behind the times they are. And I guess not many people really understand what it is that Australia actually builds. So we've got the Holden Cruise, the Holden Commodore, which comes in a wagon, a sedan and a ute, the Holden Caprice, which is a long wheel-based limousine style vehicle which is already exported to the United States as a police patrol vehicle, and also is being sold in China as a luxury limousine, the Buick Park Avenue. Commodore is also exported to Brazil, or it was, as a Chevrolet. And then you've got Ford, which manufactures the Falcon, which comes in a sedan and a ute, and also the Territory, which is a very impressive product, certainly very popular, and in my opinion the best compromise between a car and a four-wheel drive that you can currently get on the road. So I guess, long story short, I find that to be probably the best SUV you can currently buy in Australia. Toyota also build the Orion and the Camry, and the hybrid Camry here is assembled in Victoria. There's one thing about the local products that people seem to just gloss over and forget about at the time. So, if, for example, you have a look at the Falcon, it's currently offered in LPG, regular petrol, and also as a 4-cylinder direct injected turbo petrol engine. Now, Holden as well obviously offer an LPG version of the Commodores and of the Caprice. In fact, if you buy a V6 Caprice, you're going to get an LPG version. They're typically set up for the limousine market, and running LPG is a very cost-efficient way to doing things. In fact, the CO2 emissions from an LPG Falcon is only slightly higher than the CO2 emissions of a 1.8 litre petrol Toyota Corolla, and they're cheaper to run. Fuel-wise, they cost less to run than a Corolla. So the local products are pretty smart. So a lot of money that's been invested from the federal government into the local car industry has gone to some pretty important developments. Not just the inclusion of greater fuel efficiency for their current products, but also investment in future products, particularly when it comes to the potential diversity of the Holden range. Now, how did you go the other day with our automotive Who Do You Think You Are? Even if you knew where the vehicles actually came from, were you aware of the other similarities that actually are just below the skin? So I'm talking about the platform sharing. So what manufacturers do in order to reduce development costs is they'll use a platform for a bunch of different vehicles. So, for example, the Volkswagen Golf is the same platform as the Audi A3 and the Skoda Octavia, and some Seat products, more Volkswagen products, the Beetle, you name it. There's 13 variants that all sit on a common platform for the Volkswagen brand. What are the benefits? Well, it gives you a greater capability to react to market changes. So, for example, the Golf has been incredibly popular for decades. And then all of a sudden, small SUVs started becoming popular. So what did Volkswagen do? Well, they cranked out the Tiguan as quickly as they possibly could and got a small SUV onto the market, and it's been quite a popular SUV at that. Yeah, you can call it an SUV because it's pretty tiny, but it's beside the point. They also had the Skoda Yeti came out as well, which is basically a Tiguan with funny looking spotlights in the front bumper. But the point is, they already had the base engineering done because they've already applied that platform before. There is a risk there that if you're going from the Golf to a Tiguan, there's a whole bunch of other influences on the platform and on the chassis which require further engineering anyway. You need to have a look at the actual operating environment and the forces that are applied against the vehicle, like a Tiguan, when compared to an actual Golf. But when you're going from a Tiguan to a Yeti, which are basically the same sort of product, just I guess rebranded somewhat, the amount of engineering you need to do between one product and another is actually very small. So you can get one of your sub-brands, where Volkswagen is the parent brand and Skoda is the sub-brand. Skoda can also react to those changes in the market as well by relying on the engineering that's already been done by Volkswagen in the form of the Tiguan. So the Yeti came to market quite quickly. So what does that have to do with the Australian market? Well, at the moment, I'm driving a Holden Volt. Now, it's originally came from Chevrolet in the United States. It's built in America, and it's built on the Delta platform, which is a very extensively used platform in the General Motors empire. So it's used as an Opel Astra. It's also used under the current Zafira. It's also used underneath the Holden Cruise or the Chevrolet Cruise, depending on where you are. So this actual platform, the Delta platform, is currently being built at Elizabeth in South Australia and sits underneath the Australian version of the Holden Cruise. So when people are talking about the Australian industry and how far backwards it is, just have a think about the potential of the actual capability of the Elizabeth plant and what it can actually build. They've already said that they're going to commit to build the next generation of the Holden Cruise at Elizabeth, assuming of course that the coalition doesn't basically kill the industry by removing all subsidies. So those commentators that are talking about Australian manufacturing need to make certain assumptions before they can actually have anything worthwhile to say. You need to know what the market is going to do and what your facilities are capable of producing. I haven't heard anybody talking about the flexibility of the D2XX platform from General Motors. So basically Volkswagen have their MQB platform, which is going to underpin which currently underpins the new Golf Mark 7. It currently underpins the new A3, and it's going to underpin a massive amount of vehicles. The platform that it's replacing had 13 variants built on it. And basically the D2XX is GM's equivalent to what the Golf platform is to VW. So there will be a massive amount of pre-engineered platforms ready for quick application to changes in the marketplace. And Holden's prepared to do that. They are already building the Delta platform on the same line that they build the Commodores on the same line they build the Utes on the same line they build the Caprice on. So unless those commentators actually know what that other product is going to be that Holden is going to build alongside the Cruise, They have no idea about the viability of the future of the Australian manufacturing industry.